Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
All righty, folks. Mr. Curiosity, Joe Snedeker, has arrived, and I have a special guest that we all know, love, and miss. And I'm not going to tell you who it is. Just kidding. I got her laughing already. Sharla McBride has arrived, courtesy of Zoom from Big Shot, DC. Wow.
There we go.
I mean, what's going on?
Hi, how are you? It's so good to see your face this morning.
So we have to be honest with the people. What happened in the previous 15 minutes? Do you want to tell them?
So Joe and I claim to be Zoom experts, but we clearly have our issues. It took us 15 minutes to figure out how to log on to this. And in all honesty, we didn't figure it out.
I know.
Our lovely engineer, Stu Wilson, did.
Yeah, but you know what? There's always, Zoom is great, but at the same time, it's annoying. You want to punch your screen, but hey, it's happening now. So Sharla McBride, first I want to say we miss you here at WNEP. You know that, right?
I miss you guys. I really do.
And a lot of people think, and you know this in our business, they think because we worked at the same place, even when you were here, that we're like, oh, we're such good friends. We see each other all the time. I was the morning guy. You were the evening girl. I never saw you.
Never saw, unless that one day where I had to come in early and we could just cross paths like ships crossing in the night.
Right. And before I even go any farther, whenever I say something uncomfortable for you, say, get the bell out, Joe, and I'll go like this. Because I have to
bell a lot with people?
Occasionally, because I don't know limits. You know, that's my problem. But
no.
Here's why I brought that up immediately before we begin, is because all my friends, when did you start here at WNEP?
I started April of 2008.
Okay, so all of my friends for all of those years from 2008 till now, oh my God, Charlie, she's so hot. Tell me about her. That's all I would have to deal with. And I'd be like, I barely know her. I never see her. Leave me alone. All right, so this is what I have to go through in life.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So before we answer some of the nice messages from your people here in Northeastern PA, we have to go through your past, because you got our connection, the people of Northeastern PA and me, began with you in 2008. But let's go way back. And I know how you ladies are. Are you even going to tell us when you were born, or are you just going to give us a round number?
Sure. You know what? I could do the whole, why don't you guess my age, Joe?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
No, I'll be 37 this year.
Whoa. So
I'm getting up there.
No. To me, that's still, of course, that's like, as a 55-year-old guy, you see me as grandpa. To me, 37 is like prime time, baby. I mean, that's when it's.
Hey, prime time.
That's right. So you're a Texas girl, though. Give me that scenario.
Right. Yeah. I was born and raised in Austin, Texas, which when I grew up, it was not the big city that it is now. It's grown so much. It's almost doubled in size since when I was in high school. So it's a lovely place. My parents are still there, so I go back and visit them. And it's a beautiful spot. But then I went to school at the University of Georgia, as you know, and as everyone in my life knows, because I talk about the Bulldogs all the time. I bleed red and black. My parents still have season tickets. I'm going back to a game this year, and I'm so excited because I missed last year. You know me, college football season with the Georgia Bulldogs and SEC football is like my happy place. I get like a whole different person. I might seem real nice, but you put me on my game, and
you're dark and evil like all women. Just kidding. No, but here's what I need to know about what you started with. You're born in Texas. Now, with trying to be semi-politically correct, you know that the reputation of Texas. And I know the reputation of Austin, which is like an island of liberalism in Texas.
Right.
So is Texas, where the way you were brought up and born, is it leave me alone, don't regulate me, I'm bigger, I'm better, I'm arrogant, is that acceptable for you? Is that
the bigger and better was always kind of like a joke growing up, you know, it was like, we're bigger and better, everything's bigger and better, in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, we have a lot of state pride. We love our state, and there's a lot that the state offers. So I think that for us, it's more of like we can find so many things right here in Texas because there's so many, like Houston and Dallas and San Antonio, and even on the coast, there's so many different things that you can, I don't know, you can do. You can play football games. So yeah, it was more of like, it's so big and it takes you 7 hours to get out of the state if you're driving. So I think it was like, we just don't leave because it takes us forever to.
Yeah, but you glow red in Texas, but yet Austin, were you brought up with a little bit more of a liberal edge, or no, you didn't feel that?
No, I mean, for anybody that knows, my dad worked for the Republican Party for a long time.
Whoa, okay. So we're not getting political, but I didn't know that. You're entrenched in it then. Okay.
Oh, yeah, my dad ran several presidential campaigns back in the day. So yeah, Reagan and the first Bush. So yeah, he's kind of been in politics since day one. That's when they moved from Georgia to Texas in 1976. Because Texas was primarily a Democrat state, actually, and they were looking for some more Republicans to kind of run. So my dad, working for the Republican Party at the time, moved to Texas, and yeah, but he retired a while ago, and so now we just like stay out of it. So more like growing up, it was more of staying out of the politics scene, you know, because it was always so like it could be so stressful. Right. So definitely since he retired, it's hey, let's just stay out of the politics talk and enjoy life.
So is your I didn't know that first part of what you said. Your dad is really a Georgia guy?
Yes, both of my parents. Yeah, born and raised. My mom's from Atlanta.
Oh, I did.
My dad's from a place called St. Simons Island.
Well, is that why then later in life you decided to go to Georgia for college? Was that a part of it?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
All making sense now. Okay, I gotcha. All right. So when you were being brought up in Texas, did your dad always say like, "Oh, I miss Georgia," or
yeah, they have a Georgia room in their house, and I say Georgia room. It is completely painted red and black. It looks like the world's best like tailgating room. He watches the games there. It is like he has saved every single ticket from every single game he's gone to for 45 years, and that covers an entire wall. I mean, it's a piece of artwork, that room. So yes, we even had a bulldog named Herschel Walker. So yeah, we were like the diehard Georgia family right in the heart of Austin.
Oh, I see. So that's where the guts and the roots of this whole family really is Georgia. You were just like placed. You were dropped like a package, your whole family in Texas.
Right.
So is your dad, that's what he did for a living? He was like a political
a political consultant. He ran campaigns. He was a campaign manager, lobbyist as well. So yeah.
How about your mom?
She is the public relations and marketing director for the Austin Convention Center. She still does it because she loves it. It's the biggest building in Austin. They have a lot of events there, car shows, things like that. So she is the PR director.
Okay, so now you're brought up imports, and is it you, or are there siblings? Who's being born up in this new?
I have a younger brother. I would always say little brother, but he's like 6'2", and I'm 5'2", so clearly he's not smaller than me. Yeah. But he is married to my lovely sister-in-law, Kristen. He's an engineer. She's a dentist, and they have 2 fabulous babies, and they live in San Antonio. And I FaceTime with them every day. My little niece and nephew. So yeah.
So did you mother him growing up? Because any boy with an older sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely did. I used to we have all of our pictures. I used to walk around and just like hold him by his neck and just like walk around. My mom was like, "You can't do that." I was like, "He's my baby doll." He had no choice. I would like smother him with kisses. I would just like pinch him all the time. We're only 2 years apart. But
2 years is a lot. Yeah,
he was smaller than me though until he hit his growth spurt. When I graduated high school, we were the same height, and then he foot. So yeah, I came back from college and was like, whoa. Now I can't pinch him all the time.
So when you were in high school pinching your brother, did you know you wanted a career in sports broadcasting or journalism?
Yeah, I did.
You knew all.
I was 12 years old. I really remember the exact moment. I was 12 years old. I was watching a Georgia football game on a Saturday with my dad. And they kept going to the sideline reporter and they kept talking about the game. And then they would interview the coaches at halftime. And I started asking my dad, wait, what is that job? Is that a job? What is that job? And he was like, oh yeah, that's a sideline reporter. It's a journalist. So then I started watching the pre and post game show the next week. And I was like, this is really interesting. I love this. And then I started looking it up. And then I remember coming down the stairs and telling my parents, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm great at talking. I love sports. Let's put the two together. And then I always loved writing as well. And I always loved storytelling. My dad's a great storyteller. So, and speaker and public speaker. So kind of mixed all of those things together. And then I was like, let's find sports broadcasting. And my mom and dad were like, well, a great school for that.
So they're trying to get you back to Georgia. And then it all worked out.
Georgia does, in all honesty, have a top 5 journalism schools. They have a great program that I learned so much. I probably could never even be where I am today without going there. So yeah, it really, all the roads collided.
Yeah, but when you go to college 500 miles away,
Right.
is it lonely? Did you cry at first? Is it like, oh my God, I miss my people in Texas? Like, how did that all work?
I was always set on going. So I think my whole senior year, I was kind of preparing to leave in a way.
Yeah.
I think I remember crying right when my mom dropped me off and left. But then you're at this big new campus and I just was so excited to meet new friends. And I remember just going up and down my hallway in my dorm room and knocking on doors and be like, hi, I'm Sharla, I'm from Texas. I mean, I'll just meet anybody. So I felt like, I was able to meet friends pretty quickly and we're all in the same boat. And I'm telling my stepdaughter this now as she embarks on this journey that, because she's scared and it's like, oh, are you going to meet people? And I say, everyone's in the same boat. You walk into that first class freshman year and you're all new. So it wasn't too difficult.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And I'm sure you were like the hot chick on campus, right? That made it easier.
Oh, I mean, right?
Look at her doing the hair thing. I love it.
No, I will say this, Joe. We have the best meal plan at Georgia. I mean, it was one of those all you can eat, all hours of the day. The food was phenomenal. And right by the door in the dining hall that was closest to me were these freshly baked chocolate chip cookies that they would put out all the time.
Okay.
Now, in high school, I did a lot of gymnastics. I was very active. I played sports. Then you go to college. I wasn't necessarily doing that, but I was eating those cookies every single day.
Did you
no
believe
lie.
that?
I did gain. I gained like the freshman 10.
Oh.
It wasn't a proud moment for me. So I came home and my dad said something. He was like, "Oh, you look a little puffy." I was like,
"Puffy is the."
I'm like, what? And then I stepped on the scale for the first time. I never stepped on the scale when my first semester of college.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, Sharla, you got to get it together." And my mom was like, well, what do you think it is? I go, oh, no, I know. It's literally the cookies every day. She's like, well, how many would you say you have? I go, 5. She's like, you have 5 cookies a day. So I cut back on that. We got back to normal. The puffiness went down. No more cookies.
Yeah, but are these the kind of parents that were like, if you did blow out, would they?
No, they don't care. They love it.
Okay, I was just saying they gotta love you anyway.
They knew me and they knew that I was this active. You know me, I'm a petite, active person.
Yes, you're right. You got that big energy.
What's going on? Did you give up? What's going on?
That's one thing we have in common. We have the nervous energy constantly working on our side, right?
Right. We're always just going.
Yeah.
I always say I'd rather be busy than bored. So I can't really sit still and just eat potato chips. It's not like my thing.
I think you're like me when you're bored when you're inactive, or I'm never bored, but if you get that, what am I going to, I have nothing to do for the next 3 hours. Isn't that stressful?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Last night, I actually had some free time. So I was just flipping 2 channels, came across a lovely Hallmark movie and checked that off. Allie Gallo and I love our Hallmark movies. So yeah, but I was sitting there, but then I couldn't even watch it without getting back on my phone and going on Twitter and finding out what's going on.
I know free time is stressful. I know. I'm with you on that. So you are you a great student when you're at when you're doing your thing and you're a Georgia Bulldog and everything's great?
It's a really good. I mean, there's always people. There's I have friends way smarter than me. But I think I did my best. I think I was all right. I don't remember my I graduated with like a 3.4 GPA.
That's excellent.
I mean, it was okay. I always say college is hard. There were some classes that, they always make you take those classes that you were never going to have to do for the rest. Physics.
No, wait, now you're interesting to me. This is interesting to me.
For me, it was a nightmare. So physics and statistics, I was like, I am never going to have to do this. And my brain doesn't work that way. Now give me any kind of journalism, writing, history class. I'm like all there. But those early classes, when I had to take physics and stuff, I just thought, all right, this is the end of my life.
Well, that's why all of us humans are so different. Tom Williams wants to say hello. He's coming in.
Tom Williams!
Oh, Tommy, baby, we're doing a live podcast. Come on, you got to show yourself right here just for a second. There must be something. Tom is coming in, and he wants to ask you something about your life now before we get into the guts of it.
Let's see. I think you just put him on the spot.
Sharla, hi. How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
Tom.
good.
So
How are you?
before we get to the questions later, there must be something you're wondering.
Well,
about.
I want to know if Sharla enjoys doing sports again rather than news. I know
I
you do
do.
both.
I was going to get to that later, but yeah, give it to him.
Yeah, no, I do. You guys know, like I light up when I get to cover sports, and Washington clearly has a lot to cover, good and bad. So yeah, it is really nice. But I do miss, news too. So it's nice they let me do both. Like today, I'm going to anchor the newscast, and then I'll do sports later. So
That's the best of both worlds. And unfortunately, you got to cover the Redskins, and I'm afraid they're going to.
See, I knew he'd get the sports
I think
opinion
they're
in
gonna
there. I
finish
see, I
again.
know it.
they always provide many storylines.
Hey, great to see you, Sharla. Be good.
Nice to
And
see you.
see, Tom popped in. We're going to get to those questions later on. But so, Sharla, once you graduate now, what was like, if you could go back to your senior year in college and you're just about to graduate, what would be the best case scenario for you? Did you say, oh, I want to go out west. I want to go back to Texas. I want to stay here in Atlanta. I want to work big New York City station. I want to do sports. I want to anchor. Did you know what you wanted to do then?
Well, I knew the reality of like when you graduate and you want to do broadcasting, you got to start from the bottom, right? And move up. So I started, I made a tape, and it was actually a tape. This is before, now everyone just sends the link on YouTube.
Yeah.
I had to get the VHS tape, and I had to go find a place that you could put it on the VHS tape, make copies of the VHS, and then mail that, that whole process, and mail tapes to a bunch of different small markets. I got a list, and I think I mailed probably like 50 tapes to, anywhere from Oregon to Idaho, just mailing it out, and just thought, all right, let's just see what small city I'm going to start in. And I ended up going to Abilene, Texas. So I went back to Texas, and that was really good for me because I had missed my family, and Abilene's like 4 hours from Austin. So it was, I could drive there and see them. And it was a great place to start. It's right there, home of Friday Night Lights, high school football. It was fun. So that was my very first job. And I started I think about 2 months after I graduated. So, so I was there only though for about 7 months. I was just there for a football season.
You know what I'm building up to. I can't wait to hear where WNEP comes into the picture. So
right. So I was there for 7 months, and it was Super Bowl Sunday. Actually, it was the next day after Super Bowl Sunday. It was that the Super Bowl when the Giants beat the Patriots, who were undefeated at the time.
Right.
And I had been sending out stuff, just almost like kind of more looking for like feedback. And I wasn't under contract at my first job because they just kind of brought me on, and it was like, oh, you don't have a contract. I was kind of a youngin. And
by the way, what were you doing there in Abilene?
Sports reporter.
Oh, okay.
Being a sports reporter, covering high school football, and on Sundays I would cover the Dallas Cowboys. So, so it was really fun. We had a Friday night football show. So then after football season, things kind of started to slow down, and I sent out some tapes. And one of the places was Scranton, Pennsylvania. And
stop right there. Stop. So why Scranton, Pennsylvania? Did you see that there was an opening, or you wanted to go to the Northeast?
I saw there was an opening, and I had never been to the state of Pennsylvania before. No lie. I had flown to Philly. I had never been to Pennsylvania. It was just one of those things where I was like, oh, okay, that's a middle market. Like, you know what? I could go for that. And then I get a call from Eric Schrader, as you remember, our former news director. He had just gotten hired. I believe, so Trish Hartman and I were his first hires.
Yes.
He hired both of us within like the same month. And he, called me up and we had a few conversations on the phone. And then he was like, hey, I'd like to fly you out here. Now I came out there and it was the last week in March of 2008. And the mountain right there that's behind our station still had snow on it. And now being from Texas, I just could not get past that. It was the end of March and I was like, what is this?
I was gonna say, so in Georgia and in Texas, you're used to at least occasional snow, but usually minimal, under 6 inches. So now you're
under an inch. Like we never even had to skate growing up. Yeah, no, there's never snow. But I love to ski. I used to fly to Lake Tahoe growing up. My uncle lived there, and I actually learned to ski.
Oh, okay.
When I was younger, and I love to ski. So I actually was excited when I saw the ski mountain and that there was snow still on it. And yeah, so is there
a part of you that was using us to get to like New York or Philly? Was that somewhere in your mind or no?
At the time I was I was 23 years old. So I was still like, I need more experience.
Yeah.
Now this is really funny.
So Eric, our news director, brings you here. You see snow on the mountain. You come here.
I was like, this is fun. I met Jim Coles.
But that's I'm wondering. That first day you walked into the building, and what were you thinking when you flew into Avoca, when you walk into WNEP, when you see Scranton? Like, what's going through your head? This is industrial. It's cloudy. It's cool here. What are you thinking?
I was super excited.
Yeah.
I walked in, and two of the first people I saw were Carl Abraham, our former news director,
right,
and Gabe Crisanda, and they ended up taking me to lunch at Longhorn, which is just fantastic. And they were smart. They took the Texas girl to a steak place.
But are you uncomfortable doing that, or did you like it? Like, oh, now I have to be on and put on this act and be blah, blah, blah.
It was great because I got to talk to a lot of people, and I got to talk to Jim, and Jim can make anybody feel comfortable. So we just had a great conversation and hung out, and then I had like an audition at nighttime where I had to enter sports and all that stuff. So then that happens. And, about a week goes by because they tell you, we'll call you in a week or whatever. So
they fly you in and then they fly you back. I'm
just there for a day.
I should know the answer to this question, but I don't. Whose position were you vying for? Do you know? Was that No,
I don't remember.
I think that was would that be Dave Pingalore, perhaps?
No, because David left a while before, I think.
Okay.
And David left a while before. I think he's in LA now.
Yeah.
I've met him before, but I don't remember.
Okay. Well, anyway, I should know the answer to my own question. I thought
Paul Grippy.
Maybe Paul Grippy. Okay, so you're replacing Pingalore and Grippy in a way, and did you get good?
He moved some parts around. So I was at home, just chilling.
Just chilling.
Chilling back, a week later in Texas, and it was April Fool's Day. I get a call from Eric Schrader, and so I'm like, oh my gosh. He says, we really liked you. Unfortunately, we just don't feel like this is the right fit, and
what?
Does the whole thing, and then he goes, April Fools. I was like, you don't do that to someone. It's so mean. So he legit offered me the job after doing an April Fool's joke, which I was like, what? So that's how I never forgot what day it was. It was April 1st because it was an April Fool's.
That's excellent. So at that moment, did you know, or did you have to stop and contemplate, should I take this, or did you say,
I just took it. I just took it on the phone. Yeah. I was like, negotiator. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I'll move to Pennsylvania next week.
Did you? Yeah. So you don't say, I'm going to talk this over with my parents, or I'm going to talk to my.
No, I don't believe I did. I really think I just took it, and I mean, people might not know in our industry. So there's different markets, and that's based on the size of the city,
right?
And the number of people. So Abilene was market 164, and at the time Scranton was 52. So that was a really good, more than 100 market jump. So I right off the bat was like, all right, I'm taking it. I'm going to Pennsylvania. Never been there. Let's do it.
A lot of people don't realize WNEP is a big fish. Let's just leave it at that. We're a pretty proud.
Right. And I quickly learned that, WNEP has, some of the highest ratings in the country for local news of any place in the country, doesn't matter the size. And that's because of our viewers. They're fantastic. They're so loyal. I've never been to a place where you meet people that day in and day out will always watch you. And it's great.
This very loyal viewership is correct. So you immediately come here and become a star. I believe you were weekend anchor, sports person. So what? And then the other two.
John Meyer was weekend news, and so and Kurt Aaron was on the weekends too. We had a great time.
Yeah. So what else were you doing then? The other 3 days, you would just go out and do sports stories.
Yeah. I mean, Jim would send me everywhere. Go to Montoursville and cover soccer, or go to Southern Columbia and talk to Coach Roth, or Berwick and talk to Coach Curry. And I would hit the road and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and just kind of drive all around and find those stories. And so I got to know the area and the 17 counties very well.
And by that point, I was already working about 8-9 years here full time. And I remember when you first started, and I couldn't quite figure you out. I'm thinking there's something with this that I don't understand. And call me a horrible person, and listeners and viewers could hate me for this, but
oh God, here we go. Joe's coming out and I'm nervous.
No, because you usually don't see pretty Barbie doll, petite, bubbly girls who are covering sports, who really get a thrill out of a wrestling match or a football team or a basketball team. And I thought, this is odd. This doesn't fit the mold, but yet you were sincere.
You're right. And I think, in the beginning, I definitely got that from several people. There was people that were just like, wait, we haven't really had a girl covering sports, because the sports department always been men, and in every sports department there in PA. So that was definitely a different thing. I think for a lot of people, I just loved it. So I kind of just.
I know you did. Your passion was there. Yeah, I know. I was wrong. Your passion was definitely there, but it took me a while to figure you out. I was doing like a dog head turn, like, huh? Oh, what's going on here? But you did it. And then, when you were here, please be honest with your listeners who are in Pennsylvania. Did you feel the people here compared to, most of your years growing up in Texas? Like, what's the difference? I don't know the difference. I've never been to Texas. I've driven through it, but I haven't really hunkered down there. So
it took you a long time to drive through it. You know what? It was amazing how everyone embraces us at WNEP, and everyone so kind, and it's a very family knit area.
Okay.
Quickly, I met my now husband about 6 months into working there, and his family just wrapped around me, and basically adopted me and a huge, Irish Catholic family, and that was something I wasn't used to. In Texas, it's small families. I had a friend that had, 4 siblings, and I thought that was insane. And then I came up to Northeast PA, and everyone has like 6 siblings and a million aunts and uncles.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it was great because there was this big family atmosphere, which is wonderful. So there's so many great people that just like, family is a really, really big deal in Northeast PA, and that's a wonderful thing to see. You don't see that sometimes in big cities, and even, in the South, obviously, like, I love my family and stuff. You just don't get that big family Irish Catholic vibe.
Yes. And steeped in culture here that goes back. So it's a lot of people. Their families have been here 2, 3, 4 generations.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing about Northeast PA, and even the Northeast in general. There are so many generations because they came over, they were immigrants, and in Texas, it's all very new. Everything is just built. Like Austin was just, so you don't have as much tradition and history, and me being like a history buff, I always love that.
Was there a little bit, again, I'm trying to get some honesty from you, and here's the bell if you want to use it. Was there a little bit, because I even felt this way when I left for college and then came back, is there a little bit of you thinking a little gloomy, a little industrial, the coal piles, the old semi dilapidated structures that haven't been updated? Did you get a little of that?
No, I'm going to say the exact opposite, because what I loved, and I say this to everyone, I only saw like the beauty of Northeast PA in terms of like the weather and the how everything would change. Like, I love having 4 seasons. In Texas, I never had that.
Yeah.
It's just hot. It's just one season. It's 75 degrees on Christmas Day, which you would love that. But it's I loved, like, I look forward to fall. Fall's my favorite time of year there. I do all the cheesy stuff. I go apple picking and I love
I
it.
agree. It's great. I know. I love it.
So I think it was more of like, I like to see that. I like to take hikes and walk around, you know, like the different trails and I love skiing. So the idea that I used to have to get on a plane and pay a lot of money and go out west and ski. And the fact that like I would ski with John Hickey before going to work, like I could never do that.
I think you want to come back. I think you want to come back. This is what's coming out.
I mean, my house is still there, obviously. Like I do. I'm there every week.
Oh, don't get to that yet. I need to go linear. It's got to be linear.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good. So you had a good impression of the area. I don't even think, was The Office on back then? Like, did you know Scranton because of The Office?
I watched it before coming. Oh, yeah. I watched it. The Office was live. It was happening. I don't remember what season it was when I moved there. Season 7 or something. But yeah, I had watched it. I loved it. So my friends actually came to visit me and they demanded to do the Office tour. They were like, I need to go to every place. Where's Cooper's? Is that real?
All right. So you're here, you're working, you meet the man that you marry, years pass, sports is going great. You go full time, then weekday full time, you lose the weekends, then you become anchor person, you lose the sports. What was that transition?
There's a lot of changes.
I know. How did that happen? I don't even know. I don't know these answers. How did that happen?
I don't think a lot of people, So I was weekend sports and they decided to add a 7:00 show on Saturday nights. So Carl Abraham, who was our news director at the time, called me in, and a girl named Shauna McNally, who we love. I guess Shauna's fine on it now. She and I kind of teamed up and she produced, and then I anchored this 7:00 show, and that was my first time anchoring news. And things went well. We did that for about a year. And then Sophia left.
Yep.
Yeah, Trish left, and then Sophia moved into that role, and then Sophia left, and Carl had asked, since I've been doing the 7 for a little while on Saturdays, if I wanted to kind of audition and kind of try for the Monday through Friday evening news. And
yeah, so stop right there. Were you aspiring to that? Like, is that?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about it ever. I was really happy doing my sports thing, working with Jim Coles and Steve Lloyd and like do my thing. So I just thought, all right. And then, Monday through Friday, I was like, oh, that's so nice. I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a shot, I remember being nervous, like the first time I anchored with Scott, because it was kind of like an audition kind of thing. But it was great. And we had a great time, and we always, hit it off and had a great time. And so that kind of like went on for a few months of kind of the auditioning. And I think, the bosses who know, they're all trying to figure out, who's best in this chair, what's going on, all that stuff that's above my pay grade. So yeah, I mean, and then he offered me to do the 7, 10, and 11. Marisa was still there doing the 6 every night. And so I started doing 7, 10, 11. And
this is what year? What year is this?
What?
What year is this?
That's a good question.
12, 13, 9.
No, it was like a while. It was maybe 2014. Yeah, 14 maybe.
Oh, okay.
That's my timeline. Yeah, maybe 2014.
So this is when the migration from sports to anchor person occurred.
Right. So it kind of happened overnight. All of a sudden, I moved my desk out of the sports department and then moved, into the newsroom. And it was an interesting, it definitely took some getting used to. It was a different job all of a sudden. And what was hard for me is to let go of like doing those sports live shots at night. Like if there was a big game at the Rail Riders, I would be like, oh, I'm headed there. Wait a minute. And they hired Landon then to replace me. And they kind of made me a part of that interview process, which was nice, just to see who, is going to be doing this. And I think Landon appreciated talking with me and kind of like learning the ropes and stuff like that. So
even though you were a phenomenal anchor, don't you find this to be true? Because two people can really be themselves in a local newscast, the weather people and the sports people, because we're never covering, for the most part, murders,
right,
accidents, death, destruction, serious stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
be goofier, but now that you're anchor person, now you have to be, and this, I don't want to say it's difficult for you, but you're just this naturally vivacious, bubbly, energetic, fun person. But now it's got to be serious, stoic, Sharla.
That was the
That-
most difficult thing.
That
was like
right.
the most difficult thing. And I think, and sometimes, and Carl had to come back after like a year or so and be like, hey, it's okay to be you a little bit. Like, because I think they could tell that I was trying hard to be very serious, but everyone knew that wasn't me. I mean, there are times, it was more of like, he's like, just react how you would naturally react when delivering that story. So yes, if it's an awful story and a family has died, or there's something that is awful happened, tell it as if you were telling a friend about it. And that was a very good piece of advice of, you don't have to overreact, but just react how you feel. And I think that that's how people can relate to us well. When people are at home and watching us on TV, if we're telling them something that happened and we're reacting as we know they would be. So that was a great piece of advice that Carl once told me. And so I tried to start doing that. Like I could still be myself. And then they started bringing in things like the taste test and stuff like that so that we could, have a little fun again. Because I think that they realized that my personality was kind of getting lost when we do so much hard news all the time. So so I did that for
I was going to say, it's almost like a split. You were here 12, 13 years.
Yeah, I was there 13 years. And I think, half the time I did, I was full-time sports and then half the time I was
so it's a perfect judgment call. Don't fabricate this answer. It's a perfect call. You have to pick one. What are you going to do if you had to do it again? Here.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Which that's great. Now I do get to do both. I think that's it, is that I always missed one or the other. When I was full-time news, sometimes I would miss those sports stories, those great moments.
Yeah.
And when I was, full-time sports, so it's like, oh, I do want to get back in the news thing, and I love telling a good story. I think it's because I love telling a good story, and sometimes it's sports, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's when sports and news collide. So I feel like that's kind of what I missed maybe.
Yeah, all right. That makes total sense.
I know it's hard because I do really like both. People ask me that all the time. Like today, for example, on this day that we're speaking, I am going into work here in like 20 minutes and I'm going to anchor our new newscast, but then I'm going to do anchor sports at 6. So
Perfect. That's perfect Sharla stuff. Now, when you were here and you were occasionally interacting with me, did you think I was just a weird guy?
No, I thought okay. And I don't weird is the right word. You were just the most like outgoing, just say anything for the people watching. He really is that person. He will just outgoing, say anything. Everything goes, doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't scare you away from me. So you knew I was just a nice guy, but you're right. I'm a loose cannon at times, I guess, right?
Yeah, a loose cannon.
But we did get along when we did. Remember you did the bike ride with me to help out St. Joe's? That was in Pottsville. I
thought that was the end of my life as I know it. Because this is so we all know the bike ride. The day before, our lovely Reagan Menchie got to ride with Joe through the nice cornfields of central PA. I remember walking, and it was a black ride, beautiful day, 75 degrees. She didn't break a sweat. I was watching it going, okay, let's see tomorrow. This is fantastic. Yeah. This looks like a breeze. Me the next day, going up that hill on Route 61 from Pottsville in St. Clair, straight up. I thought there's no way. There's cars zooming past. This is it. I physically could not feel my legs. I think I just sat in an ice bath for a week.
But she did like 45 miles. You did like 3 miles.
Uphill, Joe. Uphill. And everyone in Schuylkill County right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. That hill that no one should ever ride, no bicyclist, including me, who to this day, I really still can't ride a bike. It's a nightmare. I tried to ride one a week ago in St. Louis and I fell off. Anyway. I'm not good with balance, apparently, on bikes.
Oh, man, you're hilarious.
Doing that to begin with, I had my helmet, good to go. I ended up getting in the van, and I was like, just take me to the end location.
That was a great moment we shared. So again, here's the bell. If you say hand, hit the bell. Why then do you decide I need to move on from WNEP just in the last, year?
I think, you were talking about the do you like news or sports, and well, I loved it. So I had taken on then the role of doing the 6, 7, and 10 and 11 when
Right.
Marisa left. And I really did enjoy it. I think for me, and you and I are similar in this way, when every day is the same, I think I started feeling like, every day was the same, and that can be great. And again, we had some great times. But I also felt like I could do more. I don't know if that sounds, but I could do more in storytelling, and I could tell more stories and do more reporting too, which I didn't really get to do anymore. Again, I was so appreciative and loved, sitting in the anchor chair and loved doing that. Yeah. But I think I was missing the storytelling aspect of journalism, which is why I got into it. And whether it's telling sports stories or telling, stories where the two combined. For example, one of my favorite stories I got to tell this year, the Washington Capitals had a little dog that they adopted and named him Cap. And he was a service dog, and they trained him to be with America's Vet Dogs. And I got to go be with him when he was assigned his veteran, his Marine, and talking to the Marine and his wife and seeing how much this dog means to them, and telling these emotional stories and getting to witness, I guess, beautiful moments in people's lives. I kind of missed that. And so it's great that I get to do stuff like that. That makes me, at the end of the day, I feel really fulfilled.
No, I got you. So you were feeling a little stagnation here.
Right. I think
and so. Everybody listening, I'm sure, feels that at times in their career, in their job. Right. It's like, oh, stagnation. Here we go. Same thing.
I wanted some more excitement. I think also, there was a part of me that thought, okay, I'm still young, relatively. And I thought, if I want to try to go to
now's your chance,
big city or something, and try to break into this big city market, which everyone, Washington is a bigger market, it's a top market. And I just thought, let me try it now. Let's try it now. Who knows what'll happen 5 years down the road, Who knows if I'll be back there in that anchor chair? Watch out, Lisa.
Right. So was this like top secret when you were thinking about leaving, or did you tell a couple people here?
I talk about it because I wasn't sure,
Because the pandemic's just starting too. What a horrible time to do this.
Right. So I wasn't really sure. And to be honest, I had thoughts of it, and I talked to my husband, obviously, and he was like, you really, because he could tell that I was kind of itching to do more. And he was like, all right, well, let's explore a few things. So really, I say everything happens for a reason, and what's meant to be. So the station I'm at now, WUSA 9, they had they're Tegna, which is the company that owns WNEP as well. And so Tegna came along and bought about 60 stations across the United States.
Yep.
And one of those stations was WNEP. And that merger was happening. And so at the time, the news director from WUSA 9 contacted me, and basically, we had a conversation, and she said, it looks like, we are acquiring WNEP as well. So this could actually be a very easy transition if you're interested. And it was a very smooth transition. So she asked me, she said, we were actually interested in having you go back to sports. Because at the time that I was even considering maybe leaving, I still didn't know if I was going to do news or sports. I didn't really know what I wanted, so I was kind of trying to find that perfect fit. And she approached me and said, we're looking for, you to do sports, but we feel like you could be a utility player. Baseball fans out there, and you can kind of do, I know that you've been doing news, but I also know you used to do sports. So, we're looking for someone that can kind of do both. And I was like, oh, that's what I do. I do both. So I was like, this is, kind of perfect. It's the same company. So we can still work together. We can still work with WNEP. So that was kind of great because I wasn't completely ready to leave everything, and I still, as you know, in this business, it's all about the people. I miss the people. I miss our coworkers so much. I miss sitting next to Scott and laughing our butts off. And I miss, having great conversations with John Meyer, who has become one of my best friends. And and Jim Cole's talking sports all day.
So all those things, that's what I want to get from you. And I know you have to delicately walk over this question and be politically correct, but my question to you is, thank you, is how are the people here different from the people there? And I know, you got to watch what you're going to say, but
No. I mean,
what is the special WNEP charm? What is our charm?
Yeah.
Is there a charm?
Yes, I definitely do. Like I talked about earlier, the viewers are just so loyal, and it's.
No, but I mean us. I mean your coworkers here versus the big city market.
My gosh! You know what? I think when you're at WP, you're a very close knit group, and I think also because it is a smaller city, we all live within like 15 miles of each other, so it's kind of easy to hang out too.
All right.
Here, one of my coworkers could live an hour away. I have one coworker that lives in Baltimore and commutes. I have one. So it's kind of like after you leave the building, you don't see people as much because it is a big city with several million people. But everyone is really, really nice. Everyone has been very, very welcoming. Everyone, I said the first week I walked in, I said, everyone is really good at their jobs.
Oh.
Not saying that wasn't, but everyone that's whatever job it is, they just seem to be very honed in, and everyone is kind of doing the job they're meant to do, whether it's an investigative reporter or whether you have a daily news reporter or a producer. It seems like everyone's like honed in to their jobs. And I was very impressed when I walked in, because you have some people here with, 30 years experience, same with WNEP. So you have a lot of,
so do you think they're better looking and more sophisticated than us?
Oh, well, of course not.
Of course.
No, everyone, the thing is it's you get the same feel because it's all the Tegna family, as we say. That's our ownership group with WNEP and WUSA 9.
Yeah.
And everyone, it's like they don't hire people unless they're friendly and nice. I don't know. Everyone is just really friendly and nice. And so I've had a great experience so far. It was really hard. It was not easy at the beginning. As you know, I started and 4 days later, the world shut down.
Yes, I know that.
It was kind of crazy. So I literally didn't get a chance to even know the city or know people because they really sent us home as.
And you're just starting to now, right? You're just starting to now.
Yeah. So sports are, they came back this summer, and that's been so nice. And I just had my first sideline experience during a game last weekend with Washington football team playing Cincinnati, which I was like, this is crazy. I've been here a year and a half, but yet this is the first time, because again, everything was shut down. And then, I went there to do sports, the majority of sports. And then when the world shut down and sports was canceled pretty much, and things kind of got crazy here in DC with protests, and a lot of things happened. So then I started covering those with news, and that was definitely a memorable experience.
But there's no regret. You love where you're at, and things are going smoothly. That's basically the bottom line, right?
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, it's hard work, and I'm never bored. I'll put it that way, which is great. As I told you, I'd rather be busy than bored.
We gotta fight.
But I do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do miss the days of coming in and sitting there next to Scott and having a great time and doing the crazy taste test with Carrie. So yeah, I do. I have so many great memories. And I wanted to push myself, and I just wanted to see, before I get old and gray, if I could.
You making fun of me? You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And I wanted to see what I could. I wanted to push myself. And I wanted to push myself with writing and with storytelling and reporting, and I just wanted to see what I could do. So we totally understand. And when you're really rich and famous, we want you to remember us all here. That's what we're saying.
I'm there all the time. I'm there all the time, and I love it.
Well, that's going to be a part of what I'm calling the lightning round. I know you have to go to work soon, so we're going to all these questions are going to be really fast. These are from my Facebook post, and these people wanted to know these things. Now, I have the bell, but all you have to do is, if you don't want to even approach the question, just go ding, 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 and it's over. Are you ready?
I haven't done that yet. I'll answer anything. I told you that. So we'll see.
No, you won't. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Jenny Brooks, do you ever plan on having any kids? Ding, 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 ding.
I have a stepdaughter who I right now she's enough. She's my world. She's 17. So yeah.
Gotcha. Now this one you already answered. Why didn't she stay at Channel 16? Money, advancement? No, it's a little bit of everything, right?
Right.
Do you miss the taste test? Is there anything like that there?
No, and I do miss it because even though I tried the most disgusting things in the planet, that beetle, that rhino beetle, and gross things, it was fun and it was such an experience. So yes, I did miss that.
Now, I don't even know if you can answer this one because I don't know if it's accurate, and I don't even want to dig this hole, but how are you managing 2 households? Is that
right. No, so I have an apartment. This is my lovely place here, but I have my home there in Pennsylvania, and I just go back and forth. My husband, his job is obviously still there, and our daughter is going to be a senior at Scranton this year. So yeah, I just drive back and forth a lot.
Yeah. So could that last for years and decades, or you don't want?
My husband and I have already said no. I mean, we miss each other a lot. So
So someone's gonna have to give.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll figure that. And we don't even know where she's going to college next year yet. So
Okay.
maybe that'll play into our next step.
All right. Let's see. We're keeping. I'm looking forward to this one. Says Andy Palumbo. We share the same birthday. I didn't know that.
Yes. Andy and I were both born on December 28th, right after Christmas.
All right. Angela says, no question. I just want to tell her that I miss her.
Oh, thanks, Angela. I do. I miss you guys so much. I really do.
And Gil Clark wants to know what food places does she miss the most? How do you compare foods there and here? Is there a?
Oh my God. Well, the Italian there, the Italian in Scranton is just top notch. So I am going to give a shout out. A little Pizza Heaven. I'm gluten-free, and they make the best gluten-free Italian that I've had. It's amazing, and I miss that place. I miss that. I miss like the good pasta dishes.
Oh yeah. So do you feel like there's got to be more of a diversity there in terms of restaurants and everything?
Oh, there's so many different types of restaurants and so many different things. But you know what? I miss those good mom and pop places. My husband and I, our date night when I come back every week, we go to 16th Ward downtown. That's a wonderful spot, and I get the pizza. I miss that. I miss that Italian stuff.
Oh, that's excellent. This guy thinks I'm a stalker. He said, stop stalking Sharla. I'm not stalking you.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
We're friends.
Yeah, so stop it. Stop. We're trying to connect and keep our viewers up to date. Robert, I can answer this one for you. You don't have to say a thing. Robert wants to know if you're single. No.
Nope. We're about to celebrate our 8-year wedding anniversary next week.
Oh, 8 years.
8 years, been together 13.
That's excellent. All right. Well, I know you have to go to work soon. I'm going to let you go. Is there anything I missed out on the arc of your life and what our viewers need to know about you before this podcast hits?
Oh, let's see.
I think we got it all.
I love my time in Scranton. I've never left a place and felt more loved. It's truly wonderful. I miss all of you guys so much. I love getting to report here in Washington, and there's never a dull day. So yeah, I mean, life is good right now, and it's only a 3.5-hour drive, and I do it every week. I got it down.
Do you do that every week?
I do, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I come home I say home. Scranton, home.
She said it. You're right. You said it. She said it.
Yeah, so I'm there every week. Now in the summer, when Maris wasn't in school, they would come here. We went to some baseball games and stuff like that. So yeah, but now that she's starting up school again, I'll be there. So yeah, I could do the drive with my eyes closed. I mean, I won't because it's not safe, but yeah.
So we're recording this on Friday. That means today is the day. At the end of the day, you're going to be in.
Well, I'm working this weekend. I'm actually.
Oh, okay, so you're not.
I'm anchoring the news, the evening news Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So yeah.
Well, look at this. I'm going to have myself. You like lemon heads or Starburst? You like any of these? I think they're both overrated.
I mean, I like Starburst. I only like the pink ones though.
Oh, I don't have a pink one, but I'm going to have some of these. And I think we had a great connection, and our viewers are now caught up on your life, and we miss.
I know everyone knows everything.
It's all out there, baby. And I like the green outfit too.
Thanks. I'm ready to go. I can't be on green screen now.
if you really want to show our YouTube viewers, you see that picture you have in the background? We want to see that close up, and then we're going to end this thing. You want to get that, or you don't want to show it up to the camera? Like, there it is. Who's on that picture? Dun, dun.
There's Todd and I, our lovely, like.
Okay, I thought you were going to hurt over it. Hey, it was.
Okay, do you want to know the honest God truth?
Yes.
I am dressed from here up.
Okay, stay tuned. Do
I
not
have
move. Okay.
sweatpants on because I am not. Yeah, like I'm.
Darla, stay glued to
I can
that.
walk over there.
No, stay glued to that chair. We want you to remain as is. All right. Well,
We're living in. Everyone does it.
I'm not sitting here in my underwear, but you are. Thanks for the great interview. We appreciate it.
Oh, love you, Joe. Thanks.
All right,
everyone.
love you. I'm going to end the recording. Peace.
Bye.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity. About